because the label was there, the address was there. So I went to the manufacturer myself, and I said, this is not the right thing what you are doing. And he said, but my crocodile is facing the other way, and this crocodile is facing the other way. And the moment I explained to him the need of knowing what he was doing is illegal, it is wrong, he can be jailed, he almost begged me to leave him, right? So while we are doing a lot of effort, right, as in China, as in the advertisements, we, I think, also need to put some effort in educating the infringer, because very often he is not as big as the Mexican one. He is a small person. There are hundreds of T-shirt manufacturers. There are hundreds of manufacturers selling CDs with pirated versions of various programs, correct? And if we put in place a campaign, then I think it will pay fairly rich dividends. And these people will talk to the bigger infringers and desist them from doing illegal, unlawful doings. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think you make a very good point that it's essentially one size does not fit all when we're talking about awareness raising and outreach. We have to identify very specific targets and shape campaigns and education to reach those targets. Thank you. I think we have time for maybe one or two more. There's a gentleman down here, right here, please.
Thank you. I've been sitting patiently for the last 2 days. There's one thing that I thought I'd come across, but I did not come across. It's the cancellation of visas against legitimate businessmen. Many of the counterfeiters cannot do business unless they sell in malls. They sell through regular franchise holders. And the legitimate businessmen travel a lot, Europe, States, and Japan and Korea. And one of the things that we've used extensively in the Philippines is the threat to cancel their visas, especially for mall owners. As we are discussing communication, has anyone come across this particular idea that perhaps it would go a long way if we threaten legitimate mall owners where counterfeits are being sold, or franchises who are allowing, or even BPOs and call centers using Microsoft pirated software, that if they apply for visas for the United States or for Europe, they may not get it.
I don't know if any panel members have any comments on that. I would say this would essentially be a question for the individual governments to address. I mean, it's an interesting idea, but I wouldn't necessarily put it in the communications area. But again, it's from the individual government's point of view. It's something that they may wish to consider. One up here.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, I have a comment here.
Can you hear me?
Wait, we have two.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Thank you very much. I'm very impressed with the work Mr. Dobson is doing in doing quantitative and qualitative research on consumer attitudes. I come from the world of health and look at issues of health and safety and counterfeits. And one of the questions that's plagued me for years, and perhaps you might take this forward, Mr. Dobson, in your research, is that there's a whole field of behavior change communications research and know-how that has come out of what we've learned in the field of health about how to get you to wash your hands and not smoke cigarettes and not eat hamburgers when you should be eating fish. And we know that people like to do things that please them even though they hurt them, like smoke cigarettes or engage in risky behavior. And to some extent, counterfeit purchasing is like that. We get a thrill out of it when we do it because we know really we're doing something wrong, or we think we're getting something cheap. And I wonder if there isn't any value in the work that's been done in behavior change communication, in your work in getting messaging out, even if ultimately it's limited to getting people to not look at consumer products that are used for personal use that might have a health consequence. But I offer that to you in the hopes that it would help you take your research further.
No, thank you for that suggestion. And a couple of those examples that you cited are exactly the kinds of areas of public health concerns, public issue concerns that we're really striving for with what we're doing here in this research-based approach. You mentioned smoking cessation, you mentioned hand washing, and those are the kinds of campaigns that have been effective in connecting the right message to get over the consumer's normal habits, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. But we have not looked at the research behind those or the medical behavioral research that you're talking about. That's a good suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. I think we've actually gone a little bit beyond time, so I would suggest if there are any other questions or any comments, perhaps any of the panel members may be available afterwards. I think we're going to have to stop here, but before we do, I would like to thank all of my panel members for, I think, what was a very good and lively discussion, and thanks to all of you for taking an interest in awareness raising and in getting the message out. And again, we can, if anyone would like to discuss afterwards, we're around. Thank you very much.